marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk Today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, welcome, and trust and pray you had a wonderful weekend, and looking forward to a very positive and productive week as we find things that hopefully will be fulfilling. Hey, join us, an opportunity to speak with Jazz Pitcairn and invite you to be a part of it. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is reminding you.
Avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Email Talk Today at candw.ky. Let your voice be heard.
And now, back to Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. September rolls in. It's that time of year when things are quite evident. So students return to school. Some start for the first time. For those of us who had seafaring fathers, brothers, husbands, and the like, it was when we missed them most. But in the last 20 years, it's the recognition that Hurricane Ivan roared through our shores. So on the phone, Miss Jazz Pitcairn. Hey, welcome, Miss Jazz. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure, and I got some of and only a bit of your discussion with Mr. Art this morning, and we're glad that we can connect up. I think the country is abuzz, not only with your work that is about to be sort of premiered here, but I remember your earlier discussion, what seems like yesterday, but I know it was a while back, with Badir in our studio. So things seem to be progressing.
I know. When we last spoke, I was fundraising for making the short film happen and talking about it a little from that perspective. And now we finally had a chance. We shot it for a couple days in January of 2023. We finished it in terms of all the post-production stuff in June of last year. And then we've just been in a big film festival run. And now we're finally at a place where we can share it with the public. It seems like a good time also with the anniversary of Ivan around the corner, and we'll be premiering it on the same week as the anniversary.
No, just for my benefit, I don't believe in coincidence. It was that plan. It just happened to have, as they say, the stars align.
The stars did align. We're now finally at a stage where we can share it, and coincidentally, this is also the time of the anniversary, and so we just figured might as well share it as quickly as we can, and also at a time where it might resonate the most with everybody.
And this is it. I remember when you were back, and we'll tell people, well, what are they talking about? Well, just sip your hot chocolate, and we'll get to that in a second. When you were first here, there's a couple things that come to mind. In that, first and foremost, how long ago was that you were here? I was trying to think back, and for me, since 2020, a day seems like a week like a year, and a year seems like a century. I mean, this seems so different in terms of our recollection of. Well, when was that? Was that yesterday? Or was it last month? How long ago was that? It would have
been, the fall of 2022. I was in pre-production between September, October of 2022 until we filmed it in January.
I mean, almost 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why is I want people to appreciate that this sort of production or project, it could be 5 minutes, it could be 5 hours, but it takes a lot. Not just time and years to pass and energy, but it's a lot to get it to that point, from the fundraising to the film production to the editing, to the marketing and presentation to everything. So, what has that been like?
Yeah, it's a very long process, and truthfully, one that I didn't even know. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I didn't know what would go, because beyond this, just making a short film, we're also making a short film based on a true story, so we want it to be historically accurate. We're also trying to depict a hurricane in the most authentic way possible, which includes flooding within a house, and how are we going to do that? Are we building tanks? Are we doing special effects? How does that work? And so all of the mechanics behind trying to make the short film was especially ambitious, which I did not quite appreciate when I just said, yep, this is what I'm going to do.
All right.
But it worked out. I'm really proud of the final product.
And when we say a short film, how long is the running time for this, that we in the audience would, we get a popcorn, we sit, and we're going to watch this? How long is that?
It is a 9-minute film. It is short, but we're also going to show behind the scenes video, little documentary, which is also about 8 or 9 minutes, and that kind of shows all the we had 35 different local Caymanians working on this short film. It kind of goes through what each of those processes look like, as well as their own stories about Ivan. And then there's also going to be a Q&A with myself and the short film star and my producer on the feature film, which we're also working on now.
Yeah, that's the part I'm excited, because a 9-minute short film versus, like you say, a full-length feature film could be 93 minutes. It could be 2 hours and 10, depending on where you get. You targeted a sort of, for the feature film, two immediate questions. You targeting how long you would like that to be, you thinking?
Yeah, I think it's going to be about an hour and a half. Right now, the script as it stands, it's going to be about an hour and a half film.
All goes well and the stars continue to align. When are you hoping that that'll premiere?
Oh, goodness. I mean, how quickly can we raise the money?
Okay.
That's a big part of the equation.
And this is it, right? For those who like film or just read about it, the blockbuster, big budget film, hundreds of millions of dollars, and then there's something that comes out of the works for, only a few dollars, relatively speaking. But it costs money, and it certainly takes a lot of time, that investment of time. For this sort of fundraising initiative, if you wish, people want to help out, what kind of money are we looking at to put it together?
So the feature film is going to cost between 3 and 3.5 million. So that's the kind of thing where you look, it's an investment at that point. We're looking to film financing investors, around, whether they're based in the UK, the US, Canada, whomever. But for me personally, I think it's a great opportunity for people in Cayman to invest in a local business. Ultimately, it's, my production company based in Cayman that will act as the vehicle for this film. And so the opportunity for there to be local people interested in film that might want an executive producer credit on a film, have the chance to invest in the arts in that way. And I have, as I said, I have Frankie Flowers is an executive producer on the film. And we've also just recently attached a producer whose name is Nikia. And I won't get into the weeds in terms of listing all her credits, but talking to her and looking at her credits is like finding out someone got into Harvard 10 different times in 10 different subjects. She's one of the most incredible people, another Black woman, Caribbean descent, who's been taking over the film industry recently, and she's come on board as a producer, and her thing is she'll be the go-to for like questions regarding all the financing and the ways in which that works if someone's interested. But that's more or less our goal, is to raise a chunk of that money locally and then partner with other film financiers and production companies internationally to have the widest scope possible, but also to really have this be a community film, one that like is made in Cayman, paid for by people in Cayman, even if it's just partly. Stars Caymanians, of course, will do local casting and have as many Caymanians involved as possible, both in front of and behind the camera.
All right, as we go into the break, we've got a couple things I want to ask, when we come back. But as we go into the break, we've been talking a couple minutes now, and people saying, well, I think I know what they're talking about, but they haven't loaded. What are we talking about? What's the name of the film? Talk to us, Jazz.
I'll give you the quick rundown. I made a short film that also acted as a proof of concept for a feature film that I'm working on. But I made a short film about a woman struggling to keep her family safe during Hurricane Ivan. It's a 9-minute short. We're premiering it on September 13th. There are 2 showings, one at 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. And we want to invite the public. The tickets are just $10. You can buy them online. Either on the film's website, which is www.theivanfilm.com, or on Eventpro. And, we're excited to share it with everybody. That's what I came to.
No, and listen, and it's exciting because, I've had some communication with you. You've shared with me. Well, I looked at it and read this stuff. That wasn't necessarily a script, proof of concept. You gave me that information, and I went through and going, wow, this is a fantastic presentation just in and of itself. But to see it come to life, with all that you've done, I want you to, after the break, tell us about it, the process, what the film entails, what was the impetus for it, what to expect. Can we talk about some of those things when we come back?
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Well, Jazz is on the line, and man, this is going to be exciting. So stay tuned. Join us right after the break.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's Home Loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning.
Ouch!
When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN money transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. Don't lie on your resume. Because if you say you've got trapeze experience, someone might shoot you out of a cannon and expect you to do a gymnast routine while flying through the air at 82 miles an hour. And just because you want to land on your feet doesn't mean you will. But if you're smart, you'll have CG medical insurance, so you get the best coverage for the price.
Get the best coverage for the price. CG Brit-K. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And on the phone is Miss Jazz McCarran. Ivan movie. Is that the title, Jazz? The Ivan movie?
Yeah, it's called Ivan.
Yeah. And for everybody, we don't even need to say, well, Hurricane Ivan. Just a mention of that, I think, send some people into a space where they're like, man, I'm so thankful. Their prayers immediately are evident. What was the impetus for you for creating this short film and this hopefully very soon to be released feature film?
Thank you. I think for me, when I was younger and I knew I wanted to make films, then it became, well, what kind of films do I want to make? And so for me, it was really important, especially as I get older and developed my own, storytelling style, to tell Caribbean stories, tell Caymanian stories, put our own people and stories on the big screen, and just to see it and feel included. It's very rare that we get to see any sort of Caribbean representation. And so when I think about stories that impact me as someone from Cayman, Hurricane Ivan is obviously one of the first ones that comes to mind. So I remember being in high school writing like a short story about my experience and then developing that into a short film and continuously just wanting to develop this into a feature film idea. So that was the impetus. And then I think also just wanting to build a film industry in Cayman, knowing that I think in 2021 there were 2 films shot here that brought nearly $12 million to the local economy in Cayman. And so knowing that there is such a big impact in filming something here, and by making a film that is this ambitious and potentially effective and can be seen on such a global scale, only helps elevate both the economy in Cayman, but also provides new types of employment, job opportunities, marketing of the Cayman Islands from both the film industry perspective, but also as a country and destination for people to go to. There's so much benefit to making films here, especially ones with this story. So that was the main driving force there.
And I appreciate you sharing that. And speaking to you, I'm hoping that people will start to appreciate, and in particular, our parents, as we talk to our children about career opportunities, helping them to pursue their interests, but also find rewarding, fulfilling lives. And then our schools, through our teachers, not just the career officers or whatever they're called in the schools, but to guide them. And then, more important, as you just shared, I liken it to the term product placement. You're watching a James Bond film and he's holding up a can of soda or driving a particular car. In the past, it used to be subtle. Now it's very evident and heavily monetized. The advertisers paid a lot of money, presumably, to get that car, that product, that thing mentioned or showcased, right? So in the Cayman context, we've complained, the former Minister of Financial Services, Ms. Rivers, was allegedly from the media speaking to Hollywood about presenting Cayman in a more positive way. Here's an opportunity for us to tell our story, to show our place without any sort of editing or special effects. It's a beautiful place, beautiful people. We just don't see this value. This is the way through you we do 2 things: give our people opportunity, but also highlight the wonderfulness of our country.
Yeah, exactly. That's the goal, at least for me, and knowing that yes, this is something that I love and it's a dream that I get to do this as my job, but also there is a responsibility to say hey, look at all the other benefits and ways that this can support so many people.
I mean, the part I like about the industry, and a little bit I know when I first heard about what it was, craft services, just that alone, that impact. You got a lot of people here, they need to be fed, right?
Yeah.
That creates opportunities for just those businesses in that particular, sector. The spill on effect is great. Can I maybe through you ask 2 other things from the Ivan movement perspective? There are many in Cayman that believe that our recovery, the resilience, the resolve in our people, the tenacity, the independence, the way we approached it, we did ourselves a disservice in playing down internationally the impact. And again, the passage of that weather system the other day in this part, not in the, sort of the entry into the Caribbean for the east of us, but just near here, the impact was minimal compared to there. Yet some people, you allow me to use the term, they'll buck their toe. And if you speak to them, they'll probably tell you they went through, a triple bypass and then a Queen Ottoman and the like. Other people, they have the greatest and most significant experience, and they'll tell you, oh, it's nothing, it was just a little bit of rain. So from that perspective, as you look at the film, did you highlight the recovery and the fact that we did a whole lot in a very short period of time, more than what we presented to the world in terms of the recovery and the impact?
Yeah, I mean, I think a huge part of the film in terms of theme is community and the resilience that people showed, and how everyone really came together to rebuild what at the end of the day is our home, our favorite place, the most beautiful place. And so it was really important to showcase, through the lens of this one family that we're following, yes, what the aftermath looked like, but also how quickly people created a camaraderie and came together to make a home again, even though that might look different than how it did prior.
Yeah.
That's a huge part of, that feeling towards the end of, just building that, because Cayman kind is real. It is something that I take pride in being from there. And I think that that's a huge part of why Ivan still means so much to people that it does today.
That sincerity and generosity, that kindness, unfortunately, even individually, many people take it for weakness when they see you offering up yourself, your service, your time, your talent, your treasure, and they still see it as you being a pushover as opposed to it being something that is inculcated in our ethos. And as you share that, I'm immediately reminded of one of the things in the aftermath of Ivan that still resonates with me on a personal level. My brothers were instrumental in getting a number of people sort of transported from point A to point B, and helping them to, when they were charter flights or the like, because vehicles and higher vehicles were sort of in limited supply. And this fellow, on one of those sort of occasions, and his strong British accent, and but for that accent, he would not tell otherwise that he wasn't not even my sibling, but even closer. And he looked at me and said, okay, now let's get back to back to rebuilding our country, our home, all right? And just the passion in his eyes, the love, the respect, the appreciation. And like I said, if it wasn't that his accent was still, after all these decades, still as thick as the day he first came, you would not know that he was not, of the soil in terms of, being born and being here for generations. And that is what has made us so remarkable as a people. But are we losing that? And can Ivan's experience remind us of the importance, as OC talks about, being our brother's keeper?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know if I can speak to the now, but certainly in the film, that's why it was so important for me to make this film. I want to have a visual representation of what that was like, and also just on topics of things like climate change and the effect that has on especially countries in the Caribbean, where we rely on our beautiful beaches for our main source of tourism at the end of the day, for our economy. Right. And so when there are things that are threatening that for some might feel in the distant future, but for others is very imminent, I think that the increase in hurricanes that we have is a huge indicator of that. And so that's another part of this film in its nuance, is a reminder of what can happen, what has happened 20 years ago, and what might continue to happen if we don't pay attention.
Well, I think it's evident that we need to at least be more willing to seek independent verification. But I think the former U.S. president talked about trust but verify, and understand our impact of our actions on our environment, but also how things are being presented, and question whether there's any veracity in much of what is being said, or is it just being repeated by pundits who have no clue. They're as lost, as can be. When you present the Ivan story, you shared that you wanted it to be historically accurate. I commend you for that. We sometimes see things reinterpreted, or they say taking creative license. Why was it important for you to make sure that this was an accurate as possible representation of the experience?
I think because I don't want anyone to question was it really that bad?
Mm-hmm.
Is that really what it was? I
Yeah.
think being like the story itself, the family that we're following in this film is more or less fictional. But in terms of the events of Hurricane Ivan specifically, we tried to keep that as historically accurate as possible in terms of the length of time, how bad it was and stuff. I think it's important to say that like that part is real, because that's the part where there's the concern, is where there's some horror, and that's what hurricanes are like or can be like.
I share your commitment to the authenticity, and again, maybe through you and just for the wider audience, for us, it seemed two things. On a national level, we, according to even commentary I've had just today and sort of preparing for a discussion, and since you reached out to me, I sort of reach out to others and say, well, what was your experience? What's your recollection? Appreciating that as time passes, someone's, our memories change, fade, we reimagine, reinterpret, what have you. But I wonder again, two things. How have we on a national level and presented it to the country, and more important, globally, downplayed the experience? Oh, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't. And I liken that to other places and people who have little and nothing happen to them, but if you ask them, and they went through the worst thing ever, right? Because they're looking sympathy. We seem to maybe do ourselves a disservice in downplaying it. And then secondly, if you look at some places, from developers to communities to developments, they will tell you, oh, we didn't get no water. And when you go, but wait a minute, I came in there with my boat to rescue you off your roof, as an example. Why is that? Why do we present it less than and not the accurate historical reflection of what was?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure I can speak to other people's approach, but certainly for myself and for this topic, it was important to keep it as historically accurate as possible. And also just because it's a film ultimately for Caymanians, I don't want people to go and watch a film called Ivan and be like, that was not, there was a variety of experiences, obviously some were worse than others,
right,
or better than others in Cayman. But in general, at least with the short film, the whole point, it's a 9-minute film, but I want emotionally people to be like, that's, I want the emotional aspect to feel accurate. I want people to really resonate with the characters and what they might be going through, regardless of what their personal experience was.
Okay.
And I think that will translate also into the feature.
Okay, so can we, after the break, take a couple of more minutes until we go to the headlines at 1, after the break, to ask you a couple of things. One, tell us about the premiere, how do we get tickets, where it is, when it is, and the like. Tell us also about the process of the film. You were saying that you wanted to recreate flooding in a house. As much as you're willing at this time to share publicly, whether it's just a teaser or otherwise, of how you created some of the things you created, the wind, the rain, the lightning, the flooding, for example. And then the third thing is, in the film industry, you reference, there's an executive producer, the producer. Could you maybe give us a bit of a lesson on the different roles? We can limit it to those two plus the writer and director, and maybe one or two others that you think are important, that we can be more sort of knowledgeable. Perhaps we can look at that as potential careers as we encourage others. And then from the financing perspective, how we can get involved. Would those three things be too much of a tall order for the next break?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, that's what we're going to discuss. I ask our listeners to please join us after the break.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Hey, Mom and Dad. School is nearly back in session. Is your child ready for the school year? Stop by Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village and pick up all your child's stationery supplies. You won't need to break the bank to get your little one prepared for the school year. You have enough to worry about. Make back to school a breeze with Savannah Pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, or call 946-3336. Savannah Pharmacy supports your education in our small community. That's why the first 20 customers will receive a free fully stocked school bag. Savannah Pharmacy. We love our community.
The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments September 4th to the 7th at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited. Whether you're seeking advanced skin care, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Wayne Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drporterkman@gmail.com. That's drporterkman@gmail.com. Call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That's 946-9020.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. You say when you work with and you interact with people with a good spirit, it makes your day that much more fulfilling. Thank you very much, Ms. Jazz, for joining us. And quickly doing a break, I just had to quickly check something. But I wanted to, as we conclude our discussion for the next few minutes or so, as we went out, we were asking you, when can we see this? How can we see it? Where can we see it? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so we're doing the premiere on the 13th of September. Friday the 13th, I know, but we're going to make it a lucky day.
It's going to be?
There will be 2 showings, one at 7 p.m. and one at 8 p.m. You can buy tickets online at www.theivanfilm.com, where there's an events page and a link to the buy tickets, or you can go on to Eventpro to buy tickets. They're just $10. The film itself is 10 minutes long, and then that will be followed by a behind the scenes video, as well as a Q&A with myself, the actress, and my producer for the feature film, and it will be hosted by Miss Donna Bush. And we're really excited for everyone to come. I also want to say quick thank you to the Ministries of Tourism, Planning, and Culture. All 3 of them helped support this event to make it happen. And so I'm really grateful for that government support and seeing the value in this film, but also what this looks like for the future and building a film industry in general.
And I, again, commend you for, your endeavor to make it authentically historical, all the things, and for reminding us so that more people can appreciate. If you committed and dedicated, you have to stay in power, you can achieve that thing. But it's also about the support that we have, right? With that, the process, 2 years in, 10 minutes later, we get set and we go, oh, but we don't see what it takes to get there. So the process of it, and we were asking if you are able and willing to share now, maybe that's something you might want to do later, but I'm interested to know. How did you go about some of the things? How did you recreate the flooding and all of the special effects, quote unquote?
Yeah, so we got creative ultimately. We combined a few different things. So we wanted to show flooding within a house and people running around with water as it rises. And so we ultimately we hired our architect extraordinaire. His name's Marlon. Shout out to Marlon if you're listening. He came in and he created a tank and recreated the flooring of the house that we were filming in and like painted it so it looked, had these wooden panels and made it look like the same. And then like a tank around it that we filled up with water that had like see-through edges. And we went outside and put a little black tent around it and then just filmed people running through water and used those as like inserts. And then we also used visual effects to show flooding water around the perimeter of a house. We use that to assist to the rain that we were kind of creating on our own. We use different lighting techniques to create lightning, which I will say there actually technically is not lightning in hurricanes, but for the sake of this film and dramatic effect, we have lightning.
Well, thank you for that, because how many of us are learning that for the first time?
I know, this is when you were doing research for things to be authentic, you're like, oh, well.
And that's the weirdest thing, right? If you probably didn't have that, and people go, but that's not hurricane and lightning. And yet, if you reflect on it, there are bits and pieces, like that freight train sound, I call it, or that notion that your ears, and I'm pretty sure everybody can either hide it happen.
Yeah, that was the thing. When it came to sound, we were so lucky. I mean, this is where one of the areas in which Frankie, who was also an executive producer on the short film, was so helpful, in that he was happy to make introductions to people he knew. And so the sound designer of this film also did the sound design for like Spider-Man and The Hurt Locker and all these crazy films that are, known internationally. And he came in and really helped build the sound. I mean, we also had original composition for this film made, but he really, like, I told him, like, freight train. Like, I was giving him all these different sounds of what it actually feels like. And he did such a wonderful job. And so that on its own, deserves all the Oscars in the world, in my opinion.
And thank you. And this is where the collaboration, I keep telling people, instead of sometimes competing, we collaborate. And when we compete, it's to complement. People say, well, that doesn't make sense. No, it does, right? Two football teams opposing for the final match. They're competing, but their skills complement, not just on the same team. And it makes the game that much better, right? So you bring into the table individuals who are, known globally, but also present an opportunity for that emerging, sort of untapped, unknown in our own space. With that, could we then ask the final, that third question that we posed prior to the break? The different roles. You referenced executive producer. I'm not going to say I know anything about any of this other than the little that I've read, but watching the credits, and people miss that, right? That's where the work gets done. So there's executive producer. What is that? There's a producer, writer, director. There are all these things. Can you give us a quick little lesson on filmology?
I can try, because honestly, a lot of these things, they change based on the movie. Like, I'm not going to lie, especially the producing, because producing can mean so many different things. But for the sake of my film anyway, I'm the writer-director, so I wrote the script, and I will also be directing it. I'm essentially the person making a lot of the decisions that are creative. So I will make the final decision on the color of a wall, or I talk to the actors a lot and like direct that. I decide what camera angles to use, and when we switch to close-ups or wide shots, I'm picking locations. I'm kind of like the person who has that final say, but I have a whole team of people who help me do that and like bring these different suggestions and options together. And right now, with an executive producer, like where Frankie is, he's someone who is ultimately acting as a mentor. He's reading the scripts, he's providing feedback, he's offering his own advice and guidance based on his own experience.
Right.
He's involved in setting up meetings and like making introductions and figuring out the best way, he can help from that higher level tier of making that film happen. Oftentimes, executive producers are also financiers, and like Frankie is not a financier in this case, but I'm just saying, like, in general, executive producers are also financiers. They're people who help pay for the film, again, like at that higher level, kind of oversee that broad spectrum vibe. Whereas the producers, there's a lot of different types of producers, but in general, it's usually someone who takes over that business aspect of the film. There's someone who's in charge of budgets. They're overseeing hiring. They're looking at cost of flights and all these different things that have, like, the logistics, let's say, of a film. But for me as a writer director, who's also the Caymanian who's really spearheading this, I'm also a producer on the film, and so I'm working a lot with my producer and Frankie and anyone else who ends up joining the team. And we have so many locals who are already involved now even, like, helping to slowly make this happen. So there are a lot of different roles, but that said, there are roles in, production design, like sound, art, like catering. Like, there's so many different roles on a film set, and there's definitely a space for everybody, regardless of what your interests are.
And I really appreciate you allowing us to ask. I recognize we're getting close to that, news break, but through you, I wanted our parents in particular, and this is done with emphasis. When we talk to our children about possible careers, sometimes we're getting there, but not fully. So that person who is into, say, carpentry, she's amazing at taking and just creating, or the accountant or the lawyer. You don't have to just be limited to those traditional areas. You could use it into the film industry, and perhaps even more so. We don't always allow our people to understand the opportunities that exist. As a simple example, we may tell people, you can get into construction, but we tell them all the areas. That person might be just wonderful at math and accounting, but doesn't want to go into engineering, for instance. That person could be a quantity surveyor. Do we tell them sufficiently about the different aspects? So through you, we've learned a lot of possible options just within the film sector. Of course, then the financial benefit to the country. So thank you again for the authenticity. Thank you for the continued effort and commitment and resolve in bringing this to fruition, and all who have partnered and supported. Any closing thoughts, and in particular, a gentle reminder of how we can get tickets, when it's at, and anything else you want to share?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, thank you so much for having me on here. The support from the community has gone, like, I'm so humbled by everyone's support and wanting to, come out and see the film. I would implore anyone to buy tickets sooner than later. They are selling out quite quickly. So again, like, you can go to the Eventpro site. I know it's, like, featured on there, or go to the film's website, which is www.theivanfilm.com, where there's also a link to purchase tickets there. Please, show up. There's also going to be a red carpet and celebration from 6 to 10 p.m. at Abacus. Come glammed up, ready to, mingle with people and celebrate and talk. And I'd love to meet everyone and have a chance to, just say thank you to everyone. Like, this film, 35 different Caymanians worked on this film. It's so much more than me. It's such a representation of the talent that we have here.
Amazing.
And I'm just so grateful to them, and I want to celebrate them too.
Oh, and thank you for including and certainly extending the invitation. I almost want inclined to ask, for people like me who like that physical hard ticket, in our hand, where do we get that? Because, that online stuff is good for those young folks, but for Paul and myself who are, no longer 15, is that possible? Or he laughs with me.
In this moment, I don't think so.
Man, I can hear my friend going, get with the times, bro. Well, listen, no. Thank you, and I'm prayerful that this will be another one of many opportunities going forward, not just with this next feature film, but for all the other projects. We are, truly, truly honored that you have made this commitment, and you continue to make us proud. May your success be something that inspires, many of our own. So thank you very much, Ms. Jazz.
Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
You do as well, And for all who are listening, just listen to her. We can inspire. We can be mindful. We're going to take a break, share. When we come back, there's going to be some open line. And then 1:30 we have a scheduled guest. But let's talk about, whatever you want to talk about. Join us right after the break.
Covering Little Cayman, Kim and Brad.
Cover me.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
In your headlines, a major tourism conference is underway in Cayman this week with the Caribbean Tourism Organization's State of the Tourism Industry Conference, hosted by the Cayman Islands Department of Tourism and Ministry of Tourism and Ports. The meetings also include business sessions for the CTO Executive Committee, Board of Directors, and the Ministerial Council leading up to the conference, which has its official opening on Wednesday. In international headlines, the Guyana government says despite persistent repercussions of the global polycrisis, lingering public health challenges, the ever-present realities of climate change, and exposure to natural disasters, the country's economy continues to record strong growth. Guyana's finance minister, in the 2024 mid-year report released this weekend, shows that at the end of the first half of this year, the economy grew by 49.7%, and the non-oil economy by an estimated 12.6%. Representing the fourth successive year of expansion in the non-oil economy at the half year, followed by a contraction in 2020. St. Lucia's government says it will begin distribution of point-of-sale machines to micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises today under an initiative being undertaken in collaboration with the Organization of American States. The Ministry of Commerce, Manufacturing, Business Development, Cooperatives, and Consumer Affairs says the machines are being distributed under the St. Lucia Digital Enhancement Program, an OAS-funded project aimed at ensuring MSMEs integrate e-commerce capabilities into their mainstream operations. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
The Health Services Authority would like to thank you, the Cayman community, for voting us the Best of Cayman Islands 2024 in 13 medical categories. As the largest and longest healthcare provider in the Cayman Islands, we have been caring for you for many generations, helping the people of our islands live longer, healthier, and happier lives. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you. For more information, visit hsa.ky or call 949-8600.
Born September 25, 1947, at Watering Place, Cayman Brac, Royce Adolphus Dilbert was the firstborn son to Helen and Grace Dilbert, née Tibbets. Mr. Dilbert was a hard-working man who spent numerous years at sea, as well as employing his diverse skill sets on land. In 1979, he would marry Yvette Jackson and took employment with Cayman Brac Power and Light Company in 1981 as chief engineer, where he remained until his retirement in December of 2018. Heavily influenced by his wife, in 1982 he gave his heart to the Lord and joined her at Ebenezer Baptist Church, where he later served as interim pastor in 2002 to 2007, becoming pastor in 2017. Mr. Dilbert was a charter member of the Rotary Club of Cayman Brac, served as PTA president at Creek Primary School, worked with the youth in the community, president of the Veterans and Seamen Society, and was a member of the Development and Control Board Cayman Brac until his passing. Royce was a devoted father to 7 children, loved to fish, and had a passion for cars.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us. I know sometimes we look at the calendar and we say, boy, is it Monday? Well, it is, according to the calendar that we use. And again, thanks to Ms. Giles for joining us. We're going to go to the phones now. Open line till 1:30. Hey, welcome. Thank you for calling.
Hey, good afternoon, Dwayne.
Hey, KB. What's happening, man? How are you today?
Okay, Dwayne, and you?
Listen, I am truly, truly thankful. It's just amazing to live in such a great place, even when you don't like what's happening around you, you don't like what's happening to you. Man, it's just an amazing place, man. Amazing people. How are things with you?
Yeah, thankful, Dwayne. Thankful. Things could be better if the government did better, but
well, we have the election coming up,
yeah, I guess they'll realize that a little later.
Yeah, I'm not going to put you off, and I don't want you to forget what you said, right? But based on what you just said, and I didn't say that just to be jovial. I didn't say that certainly not to be facetious. But the government, whether that's the elected government or the people they appoint in boards, whether the people that are elevated through promotion in sort of long-term employment as civil servants, whether in core government or statutory authorities, government companies. But at the end of the day, if it's a democracy, with the greatest of, not just respect, not admonition, isn't it on us, especially us, the voters, to become engaged, involved, informed, and ensure that the government, especially when it comes to an election, reflect and represent what is it that we're trying to ask them, and when they don't, where are we to stand up and say, guy, come on, listen, get your head out of the clouds and get your hands on at the helm, let's get it going. I mean, isn't it on us to do that?
Yeah, like what you say when it comes to election, but don't forget, Dwayne, they voted for Barabbas instead of Jesus to be released.
Fair enough, but was that not, and again, please understand that I'm not a theologian and I don't profess to understand the scriptures, but isn't that what was ordained? So even if, was not what was to happen for all to transpire so that we can now have that promised eternity? I mean, it was already set. The die was cast. I mean, that was how it was supposed to be.
Well, that's how it's running now. When it comes to certain individuals running countries, as you can see, that is all over the world.
Okay.
Not only Cayman. But the thing is, the size of Cayman and the population, and the size of the voting population, the government is able to do a lot better than what they're doing because. Like I said, because of the size of Cayman, these politicians are able to meet every one of their voters. And you know that's a fact. But I read in the newspaper concerning the Brain Drain.
Yeah.
I hope the government is taking that serious. In search of opportunity and lower living costs, some Caymanians are packing their bikes. And there's a young man in here. There's a young man in here, Dwayne Ebanks. Started working at the Ritz-Carlton. He was trying to get some top work at the Ritz-Carlton and was denied. And he says here the career path is not there. He insists, pointing to the fact that Ritz-Carlton, for example, has the same general manager and executive chef as it did when he was an intern. I would have never got the opportunity in Cayman Islands. Nobody would take chance on me. When he looks around the boardrooms and executive positions in Cayman, particularly in hospitality, he says he doesn't see many faces like his. And when it comes to like what you said, when it comes to election and voting, I see the PPM talking about they want to try to get 19 seats in the assembly so that they're able to have the power in the government.
Yeah.
Right? And don't forget, if you vote for CUC, if you vote for PPM, you're voting for CUC, And CUC is one of the main companies that have us in the mess that we're in now in this country. Because when CUC goes up with their electrical bills, so do the grocery stores, and everybody else goes up. Sometimes you see the bills are so much that people, the poor people in this country, can't even save enough money to say go away once a year with their family for vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And it should not, that new contract that they signed with CUC should not have been signed, because the gentleman that helped sign that was an employee at CUC just before winning the election. And we all know that to be a fact. And that is supposed to be against the law.
Yeah.
And another thing I would like for people to do, they have to put their businesses that they have and so forth when they're running for election. Is that correct?
There is a register of interest. There is standards in public life, all right? But can I ask you, and I know we have another caller, so I don't want that caller to feel that we're not going to get there, but I don't want you to feel rushed. But should that ethos, right, that level of ethics and integrity that we have generally, should that not apply to everybody, from the elected person to the appointed person on any kind of board, public board or private board, so that this conflict of interest, this sort of, appearance that everything is above board, to the civil servant? But what about to the private sector employee? The person at the bank who, this in their private business, but there could be conflicts, not just insider trading or allegations of that, but other things. I mean, shouldn't that be something that permeates the society, that is an inculcated ethos to ensure that that's the ethics and integrity that we want in the individual?
Well, Dwayne, that's the problem now. That's another problem we have here in this country.
Okay.
Those are the banks. And you see CUC.
Uh-huh.
You see CUC. When it comes to those shares, in CUC, this is something every politician is supposed to make the public know if they have any shares in CUC. Because anybody you see got shares in CUC, Dwayne, not gonna try anything to bring down the cost of the electricity bills in the Cayman Islands. And then you have the progressives talking about they want to run for 19 seats so they're able to have the power in the country. And if you vote for the progressives, you're voting for CUC.
All right, man. Well, hopefully those who agree with you will champion the sentiments. Those who oppose will respectfully do so that we have healthy discussion, right? Hey, thanks for sharing. Anything else before we take the next call?
Like what you said, Dwayne.
Mm-hmm.
The people that vote, we are the government. Vote wisely.
Yeah, man.
Vote wisely. Thank you.
You're most welcome. And with that, let's take the other caller. Hey, welcome. Thank you for calling.
Good afternoon.
How are you today?
Good. Are you going to rush me off for your break?
Do you want me to?
No.
I mean, we do have another caller, and I'll be mindful that some people may not necessarily appreciate my attempt at humor. So, I'm thinking of that song, but I won't rush. I believe in taking my time.
Okay, how you doing? Good, good.
Thank God I'm doing well.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Darling, we have these high-rise buildings being built. So I'm going to name them out. We got one on across from Cayman National.
Uh-huh.
We got one on Gowen Avenue. We got one by the cemetery in town. And then we got one right down the street by the Wharf Restaurant. And then we got the overpass that has up there.
Mm-hmm.
Darling, I don't know if anybody's thinking what is really happening here in this island to the fact of anything happen. You are dead or locked in and can't move with all these high-rise buildings just about on every corner. Now they want one down on Moringa Town Road. Planning is giving them all kind of stories, but someone say, wait till the new government come in, they will approve it. Probably 10 to 1. We need to stop going up on these buildings. They are too big for this island. Sterling, it's just a shame to see just about every street got one or two of these humongous buildings on them. And it's nowhere to run if you want to run. And you don't hear no government saying end the security for this island if anything was to happen here. Where's England warships? Are any one of them 100 miles off from the Cayman Islands? I don't know. Do you know? What I mean, how much can they do?
Yeah. But why would? Yeah. I mean, you just asked the question. Well, why do we want them? What is it that we want them to do?
Well, Sterling, we're part of England, and we're running stuff on the England to a degree, and the rest of it is America. We're running America and England.
Right. Okay.
But the fact of the matter is, we are surrounded by water, and if we need any help, where is the help coming from, and how much help will we get, knowing that we are surrounded by water?
Yeah.
And if the water can't bring the boats into us, how many planes can we land down on this island if there's enough strip to put it on, or in the bush, or
Yeah.
Darling, we're not looking above our noses in this island. That's what I'm trying to get at.
No, I get you, and I'm not gonna, sort of put you off track. You go ahead, because hopefully people will understand what you're sharing and questioning what we're doing, right?
Yeah, Sterling, we have a little church up there on Walker's South Sound, going towards Walker's Road. It's been there for a long time. If I tell you the name of the church, I'll be lying to you, but I think it's a little community church for that area for a long time.
Right.
And it's right there in South Sound, going back towards Walker's Road. Now, they have their little service on Sundays. I don't know if they have anything during the week, but on Sundays, they're there. And Sterling, I don't know who's putting out all these cones on the left-hand side that no one can park there. And then they got like 4 or 5 of the, they look to be like NRA made up signs saying up there, no parking. Sterling, where are these few people that are trying to get to that church that has no parking space in the churchyard? Where are they supposed to park when they go to worship the Lord for an hour? You want to tell me they could have the audacity to put those signs up there? And it looked to be like they made from NRA or whoever they made from the red and white. And it looked like their signs, but 4 of them is standing there stating no parking. And all these cones are lined up on a Sunday morning for these guys not to be able to park to go to worship God. We got all these humongous buildings being built by the cemetery. There's a saying that are people going home to a better place? I mean, we got to look into that, because we got these humongous buildings by our cemeteries, and something need to be done. Something need to be done. It need to be stopped. But like Nakiva said, you can't tell people what to build on their property after the budget. They need to change the law, and planning need to step down and change their plans too. How much more uprise building can this island take?
Hey, questions that I think not enough people are asking or demanding answers. Now, we're going to take the next call, but before we do, what else? Anything else you want to share?
Yes, we're talking about the cost of living here in Cayman. It's ridiculous. I have a friend lives in Miami, and I'm sure the daughter lives in Atlanta, so she was coming home to Miami a couple of weeks ago. So she said she went to buy some stuff to cook for her daughter. She went and she bought some turkey wings, $20 to 2. A bag of potatoes, $8.99. No, I know I bought it and say, oh, that's U.S. money. Yeah, that's by 80 cents for us here. But the fact of the matter is, it's still, she said she couldn't believe it, it's still expensive. And so we are here complaining, which we have to complain. But the fact of the matter is, I don't think that these stores are putting up this stuff just for the fun of it. We need to communicate and find out why it is going on.
You are right. The cost of goods and services seems to be increasing globally.
It is. Definitely is.
Yeah.
And I know these stores here, when they can find a chance to give us a little deal, they give it to us.
Yep.
But it is sad that the cost of living just keep climbing, and we just keep blaming the shop owners here. We're not looking at the rest of the world and where it's coming from. These people be up all hours at night trying to source food for this island.
Well, the increasing population may put increased sort of pressures on the supply and provision of goods, right? So you are right. Thanks for reminding us. Maybe people can start to think, a little bit more holistically. I appreciate what you're sharing. Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Have a wonderful afternoon.
Bye-bye.
And let's take this next call. Hey, thank you for sharing. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Hi, Dwayne. Sterling. It's my turn.
It is your turn, and I always say, sometimes your turn comes when it's your turn. It's now yours.
I wanted to talk about 2 things quickly. I wanted to remind the public that it is an offense to urinate on the side of the public road, on the public roads, but on the roads. Period. I've tried to find contact information for the food delivery company, Eats Cayman, I think it's called. They had an employee right across from the sports dock last week. I hollered out of my window at him, but I was not able to take a picture. But he was right there, just a brace where that food stand, the fruit stand is always selling their fruits. peeing right there on the public road. He parked his little, I think they're called like little trolleys or something, right there in full view. I won't get into,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
whether he was from here or not, but just another public call for employers. Please remind your employees, residents, visitors, whoever, please be reminded that we do not pee on the road in the Cayman Islands.
But it's sad that we have to do that, but thank you for maybe...
Yes, it was very, very unattractive, I can tell you.
Well, I'll share with you just as compliment, sadly, what you said. I witnessed, sadly, this a number of times on... in almost every area. I have had cause to sort of be out a little bit more frequently, driving to and fro, as they say. And whether it's a public road, whether it's a road linking one public road to the next, so let's say the East-West RTL to Sport Street, whether it's the Esther Tibbetts Highway or any other bypasses, individuals in marked vehicles, individuals in unmarked vehicles, males, or at least they were standing up as they were urinating. Right. And some in full view of oncoming vehicles.
Right, that was this gentleman also.
And I'm thinking to myself, it's good to be proud of, your accomplishments, but man, where's your decency? And this is, I honestly don't know that there's an answer other than, what you shared and trying to maybe get people.
Education.
Yeah.
Education.
Yeah.
Yes, because this, I'm sure it couldn't be done elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And we just want to get that message out.
Mm-hmm.
It's illegal here in the Cayman Islands, and employers and residents, please take heed to that. Hopefully residents will be more aware of this too and try to report it. Like I said the name of the company, Eats Cayman. I hope the message will be passed on to them so they can pass it on to their... And these are people that are delivering or food, and urinating on the public, on the roads. But anyway, the other topic I wanted to touch on quickly was over the past few months I've had some calls and messages about Caymanians and how they're being treated at the local hotels here. I won't call the names of two very new and prestigious hotels. But just this weekend, again, I received 2 additional calls of concern. And what really pushed me to air this is because these 2 persons were young Caymanians. I mean, eager, energetic Caymanians that were so excited about being at these hotels working and being in the tourism industry and the hospitality industry. And one was, Miss Bryan, what kind of job do I have to get into to make sure that we have the right kind of people coming here to Cayman that it's going to treat us better when they're working amongst us. And it was very heartbreaking to sit on the phone for almost an hour. The mom was in the background, talking. And some of the complaints ranging, like I said, it's a number of Caymanians that have reached out to me, and I've been meaning to, write about it to the relevant government departments and agencies that these issues can fall under. So I did that this morning. But we need to be reminded that when we come to another person's country and we're integrating with the residents and the people of the country, we have to try our best to get along. I realize this is one reason our people, Caymanians, are fearful of going back into the hospitality industry or remaining there, because these people are hesitant. They're basically rejected complaining to, say, labor office or work or anything like that, even at the supervisors or human resources at the locations. And it's not just two locations, it's multiple locations. But I received this weekend these complaints from these two major hotels, and like I said, from 2 young Caymanians, and I was really, really touched with this to say I have to say something now, because we cannot have Caymanians wanting to be in this area, and then they feel that they're getting discriminated against, they're being bullied, they're being harassed. They're afraid because they don't want to lose their jobs, they don't want to be demoted, they may not be placed in a position that they're qualified or capable of performing certain duties, and it's sad. So I would like, as I wrote this morning to the relevant authorities and agencies, that we have some sort of investigation going into these hotels to make sure that Caymanians, we need to make Caymanians feel safe, that they can come and speak up. That there was one where a young lady said to me, Miss Bryan, this lady who is, excuse me, I'm not anti-immigrant, right? But I am pro-Caymanian, that the lady actually took her hand and touched her back and kind of slapped her. And this is a young Caymanian, very, very excited about being in this, you know, this location, feeling proud. But then she's started to experience anxiety and stress due to the conditions at this location. The other, you know, I could go on and on with the numerous complaints that I've been receiving over the months, and I prefer not to try to air these particular things and let the relevant agencies do their jobs, you know. But we need to let these locations know when people are coming here to integrate amongst our people and to do a job in our country, they need to learn. When in Rome, you do like the Romans do, and you need to learn to integrate, not feel because you're here and you may have a better job than a Caymanian that means you. There's been concerns also of discriminatory remarks about Cayman and about Caymanians. Yet and these are only concerns that people are relaying to me. So at this point, I have a bit of evidence here and there from some of the persons that have called, but I don't have entire evidence. So I will only say allegations, right?
Right.
For some. But the fact remains is if you go to another Caribbean destination in our areas or anywhere else, majority of the time, you find that their people are front and foremost, and anyone else that's coming in have to integrate. Now, we have a small population of our own people, even with I don't want to get into status holders, but we still have a small population, right? And we welcome everyone that is legal and to the Cayman Islands. You know, our agencies are trying their best to do their jobs on the borders and immigration. We want our people to feel comfortable and safe, and that they have a right to be in these positions and not feel like they're going to get pushed out, or they're going to get discriminated against, or they're going to be at fear for losing their jobs. We have to emphasize to these hotels that Caymanians, when they're put on these the interviewing process was another major concern that I've had complaints about for jobs at these establishments, right?
Right.
And the hiring practices of some of these locations. And I'm sure that the agencies know about these things, but I want to publicly put it out there. I have proof. I have people that don't mind me showing their proof, but they don't want their names released because nobody wants repercussions. Everybody wants a job right now, and it's hard in Cayman. So I'm putting it out there to, like I said, I wrote to certain government departments this morning and certain agencies, and I got at least 2 positive feedbacks, which I'm very, very happy about. I didn't expect anything else coming back from those agencies. But publicly putting out there, if anyone is listening, I would like, speaking on behalf of the persons that spoke to me, for investigations to be done at some of these hospitality establishments on behalf of our Caymanian people who is willing and excited to work in these places and represent the Cayman Islands.
Well, we thank you for bringing that to the public's attention, for your willingness to serve as sort of a facilitator and a conduit. If we could ask, where appropriate, keep us posted with what sort of progress and feedback you may get from the respective agencies. To speak generally, to the issues, we're not asking anything specific pertinent to any particular individual, but what is unfolding. Thanks very much for that. All right.
Thanks very much, Dean.
We'll talk again soon, hopefully.
Okay.
All right. Now, we have a guest scheduled. We have a caller in the queue. Is there a guest here? Can we take, what wants to take the call? Take the break. And then we take the call. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
The DVDL Customer Support Unit is now open. Customers can book appointments for written and driving tests through DVDL's hotline at 945-8344. That's 945-8344.
Refer a friend and get $50 to spend when your friend or family member opens a personal account with Cayman National. From July 9th to September 30th, 2024, C&B customers can earn $50 for each referral who opens an individual or joint personal account. Earn up to $500 with a maximum of 10 referrals. Visit CaymanNational.com for more details on this promotion and follow us on social media for updates. Terms and conditions apply.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us. And before we get into our scheduled discussion with Solid Whitelaw, we did have a call in the queue just prior to the break. We're going to take that and welcome. Thank you for sharing.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dwayne.
Afternoon. How are you, sir?
I'm a bit frustrated right now about the conditions in our little island, to be honest. And let me say up front, I have nothing against anyone personally, but you got too many things grabbing onto the bandwagon now and carrying us down the trenches, I would say. Let me see if I can explain a little bit. I think we have too much of a population explosion in our little islands. We cannot cope with this uncontrollable importation of whoever visitors, residents, work permit holders, whatever. Maybe wealthy people that can come and build a building or buy an apartment, move into it. But we're getting our indigenous Caymanians have been left behind long time. I consider myself an endangered species here now. You might like to hear that, but it is exactly how I feel. Let me say, there's too much development going on in this country at one time. There should be a moratorium put on buildings because every one of those big buildings that you see going up now, every one of those developers will be with a long want list or wish list to import every single person that it'll take to operate them. And only the Lord knows how many hundreds of people or thousands of people might be required now within the next few months or within this year sometime or early next year. But a blind man can see all these buildings that are going up are going to be demanding labor to service them and also to live in them as far as that's concerned.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see us being successful indefinitely with the expansion mode that we've been in now for some time. And I think there was a moratorium some years ago on buildings. And by the way, government used to reserve development of anything like a school or building or whatever that they may have needed, but would reserve it to when things slowed down to avoid so much escalation in costs of building and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't seem to happen anymore, at least with roads. It looks like we can't get enough roads built now. And I'm wondering if the capital that they had for road construction, what kind of elastic that must have in it, or because I can't surmise how, I can't comprehend where all the funds are coming from for all of the work that I see going on just on roads.
All right. So, Mr. Tommy, with that in mind, I mean, other than the moratorium, what do you suggest we do? And you said moratorium on construction, right?
Not just on construction, but on these major buildings. A residence is different. I'm not against a residence. But these buildings that are going to demand people for work permits, and we have no people now to service anything more than what we have now. We don't even have what we have now,
Right.
much less
So
these that are coming online.
yeah, to make sure that I understand you, you're willing to on major projects, but not residential projects, but the commercial projects, moratorium and just a commercial.
No, we're planning to keep that going slow enough. You know how we're about that.
Yeah. What about the people?
Residences will be okay.
What about the increase in number of people coming to the country, the increase in population? I want to make sure I do not misunderstand or put words in your mouth. You want to...
I'm talking about people coming here to get on work permits. Whether they need it or not, we should not be allowed to import them till something is done about the control of this population. I saw a figure published some weeks ago about an anticipated figure of 250,000. They must be crazy.
Well, if you...
They wouldn't even have standing room in the island hard if you had that kind of number of people here. We don't need to look forward to that. We need to look forward to reducing it. I know we are dependent. Our industry of construction or development is a major factor in our income.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not totally against it. But we cannot cope with everybody that wants to bring in a person on a work permit, whether we got Caymanians or not to do it.
Yeah.
We are combining we're complexing the problem we have of overbuilt or understaffed with local people, Caymanians.
Yes, sir.
We're having to import everyone now to staff these buildings, and that is not a good policy for us to have to do.
Right.
I'm sympathetic with people that might have invested a big investment here, but they should have thought about how they will get people to service them before they start doing these major projects as well.
Right.
I'm not against people doing development, but it's out of control here now, and if we don't do something about it now, you'll soon have more people committing suicide and everything else, I believe, because they can't afford to live here. They're getting intolerable with the conditions they're having to live under. They can hardly survive. People are begging hand over fist to try to get something to eat. And it's not how Cayman was developed or should be developed.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Tommy.
If I got to say so, from time I-1 came, unfortunately, too many people were let in to do construction, which they brought the island back in a hurry, but they never thought about sending them back. I would venture to say that 90% of them that came here for that purpose are still here. Not only here, I got businesses, and I'm not against people improving their status, but we can only accommodate a certain amount, and we're brimming over the rim with every aspect of development and work permits and everything else, shortages of everything that you can think about, which escalates everything up to sky height.
Yeah.
No one can hardly afford to buy a piece of property if it's even available.
Mm-hmm.
It's only the richer people that would ever be able to live in Cayman again. They might be able to get a little house lot somewhere between Northside and East End in the high bush up in there, if they can be allowed to take down some mangroves to get a bit of subdivision up in there maybe. But other than that, Caymanians can't even afford to live in their own place, their own island,
mm-hmm.
because everything is outpriced from them, and their wages actually have not complied with the inflation. Construction workers are getting probably less now than they were 20 years ago.
That's probably
There's
across.
something wrong with that.
Yeah. Well, maybe, Mr. Tommy, you'll accept the invitation to come into the studio and share from your wealth of experience and your personal sort of, views. Thanks very much, Mr. Tommy. And perhaps a good way to look at the importance of what we have now. We had a scheduled guest, Ms. Holly Whitelock, and as we had that conversation, more and more unfolds and everything sort of is interconnected, and we see the good with the bad with the others. Well, I'm glad that you were able to join us. Thanks, Kathy, our colleague, for helping to facilitate. What are we talking about? Because headline says Simple announces upcoming deadline for awards nominations.
Yeah, so thank you to the caller for, I always want to say I respect the generational Caymanians and our elders as well, and they have a different lens that they're looking at. So it's kind of like when what we're talking about today, marketing, it's a different audience, right? So there's the generational older people, then we have the younger audience who's looking maybe at the future with a different lens. So we're talking about the future of marketing, which interestingly, every single business from development to real estate to restaurants to every business you can think of from the tourism industry, finance, requires marketing in some capacity. So marketing covers communications, it covers public relations, and basically it's connecting, your brand and your story to the audience that you're trying to reach in order to share your services, products. So we're talking about not just any marketing, we're talking about the best of the best, and we're talking about the marketing awards in which the Cayman Islands Marketing Professionals Association hosts annually, as well as the conference. So I'm a volunteer board member. So this is why we have lunch hours and our evenings and our weekends. Contributing to this nonprofit organization that gives back and helps shape the future marketing in the Cayman Islands.
I think as we listen, the marketing message, understand it's conveyed, related, implied, sometimes even internalized. To what extent the message gets lost. So with simple and the upcoming apart, you have different categories, you have different things. When we come back from the break, share with us more about what to expect, how we as a public can benefit from it, can get involved, how are we impacted. Can we talk about that?
Sure. We'll be celebrating icons and innovators and talking all about that after the break.
All right, stay tuned.
The rich flavors of Italy just arrived at Subway. Say ciao to the Italianos. Our 3 new Subway series recipes, carefully crafted with an Italian flair. Try the Hot Shot Italiano for an enticing and zesty touch. The tastier than ever Ultimate BMT, generously stuffed with a mix of ham, pepperoni, and salami. Or go all in with a creamy chicken bacon Alfredo. New Subway series Italianos. Chef-crafted greatness in every bite. Elevate your game only at Subway. Delizioso.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
The end of summer sale is happening now through September 14th at Beacon Furniture, offering discounts on selected furniture, 20% off lamps, and 50% off selected cushions. Refresh your home with gorgeous pieces from Beacon Furniture and save. Visit us at 386 Shamrock Road, opposite the Seafarers Hall. Call us at 943-2500 or check our website at www.beaconfurniture.ky. Beacon Furniture. Buy it today and have it in your home tonight.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks very much for joining us as we talk about, the Cayman Islands Marketing Professionals Association, CIMPA.
CIMPA, CIMPA.
I could probably even do a jingle with that, Just give me a second and I could come up with it quickly.
I love that, creative. I mean, that's what's so fun about our industry is that we get to use our imagination, be creative, come up with jingles that make millions, ideally.
And it's fun. I like some people, who can do a parody or something and you recognize how it sort of speaks to it. Others do it, and they almost make fun, but in a malicious way. And their cue, someone immediately comes to mind. That's a different guy. But as chair, Ms. Holloway, of SIMPA, and as we're looking at marketing professionals, share with us, because into the break we had a couple of questions, and I'll benefit from your time as much as possible. But with everything, there are always award sort of categories. Mr. Best Smile, Mr. Most Talkative. I don't know. What are some of the categories and awards that you have for SIMPA?
Your smile is a part of your brand, and Brand of the Year is one of the awards.
Yeah.
So that's, I'll kind of quickly run through those 9 options.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a business entrepreneur, if you are in the, and marketing covers, like we said, communication, it covers such a wide variety of businesses, just getting their word out. So I'll run through, and if you can think of anyone, even if you're not in the industry, but you say, hey, I think my friend works for, ABC company, and they were really hardworking this year, and so you can tell them about this. Just get the word out as much as possible, because this is good for taking our industry to the next level, and ensuring best practice across all the entire industry in the Cayman Islands, and global best practice as well, but also for that recognition that keeps us going, keeps us inspired, and motivating others as well as ourselves to keep going. So that's the real important key here, because as we know it, we're all working hard here, and there is a lot of competition in the space for competing with people's attention, right? Whether that's on their phone or on the radio. So the 9 awards that we are looking at, that we're accepting applications for to simpa.ky, is Brand of the Year, Video of the Year, Website or App of the Year, Creative Professional of the Year, Marketer of the Year, Agency of the Year, Community Impact of the Year. I was doing well. We're going to keep going. Yeah, I know. I have my notes here, but
thanks for sharing with me too, because I ain't gonna. You've got 6. So
no, that was 7. I think
7?
That was 7. Yeah, and then we also have going off that we had video, and but if you go to simpa.ky/awards, we have all those listed. I have them all listed right here too. I've been talking about them so much. Campaign of the Year and Rising Star of the Year were the final 2. So I can quickly say them again. And also our website, simpa.ky/awards, has all the info. But it's Brand of the Year, Website or App of the Year, Video of the Year, Campaign of the Year, Community Impact Award, Rising Star of the Year, Agency of the Year, and the final 2, Marketer of the Year and Creative Professional.
Right. I know you referenced App of the Year and Institute website.
Yes.
Are they one and the same in this instance?
They are competing against each other in this instance. So we actually looked at that as a note going forward if they will be separated. But for now, whether you have a website or app, it goes in that category. And some people have both.
Yeah, because some people have very interactive websites. Some are static, which speaks to even other things, but then the app, how do you access and interact and engage with the business in terms of ordering? So maybe a separation.
Yeah, it's a good one. I mean, they're growing in Cayman and globally, so it's definitely something to think about.
And when you're talking about nominations, how do we nominate, and who can nominate?
Sure. So for SIMPA members, as we are a member-based organization, it is free to nominate. So that's a huge membership benefit. You're saving, if you're nominating one person, $100 plus if you're nominating more. So, but we also welcome non-members to nominate. And you would go to simpa, simpa.ky/awards, and you would click Submit Now. You can read through. You can see past winners. And through there, you will also have the judging matrix, which explains in more detail how those will be assessed, and also like a criteria and description page. Okay.
So just again, rewind 1 second. For your members to nominate, you said something about $100. What was that?
So to be a member, it's $125 a year for individuals. It's $500 for corporate, and that comes with a lot of benefits. And for the corporate, you get multiple individuals involved. But so if you're a member, then you are not paying to submit a nomination. And if you are not a member, you are paying $75 to submit a nomination, or $95 for additional ones.
So to nominate a company or individual that you think in any of these categories or as minimum you pay to play.
Yeah, you pay. It's I mean, part of it's an administrative fee. The process, we work with an international panel of judges, and we are all volunteers. So it's there is a lot of work that goes into and time and money that goes into hosting these awards. It's a very nice actual physical award as well, and there is that administrative fee for non-members. Correct.
So other than that difference, I'm thinking to other awards globally, but just even locally, where entities and or individuals are recognized, nominated, and the process either through a survey or
Oh yes, I did the Stingray Tourism Awards for 5 years, so I know all about other the processes. And I loved that. That was very rewarding for
so the public get to participate as well as the industry in recognizing individuals. This is
the business gets the recognition, the employee gets the recognition, and we are making sure that recognition, it was spread last year after our awards event, but this year it's going to be even more out there as far as announcing who our winners were and celebrating those winners, because this year we're talking about icons and innovators. So we want all those icons and innovators to be recognized and across all channels and outlets, media outlets.
And then with anything, I mean, there's an opening date and a closing date, the credits.
Yeah, well, that's, about that. You do have this week left to submit. So the deadline is the 6th, but we really tried to make the process seamless and as stress-free as possible. So it's pretty straightforward. And it's, if say you have brand of the year, you talk about your brand, you share your website information, which, talks about your brand and why you should win brand of the year or why you think this person should or company should win brand of the year. And it's pretty straightforward. So we don't make it too complicated.
And I'm going to be mindful of the time as the headlines are two approaches so that we get you the chance to share as much.
Sure.
But then for the wider public, once that nomination, a company and or individual can self-nominate as well.
Definitely.
Your members
they're members, and that's their benefit. And that's kind of the normal process is those nominations of where you're, okay, this video we're definitely putting this up for video of the year this year. Same with the website, same with marketer, Rising Star. We've had so many people reach out to us with Rising Stars in mind, campaigns in mind. And so I think everyone's super excited to have this awards gala on October 12th at Hotel Indigo. It is going to be iconic. It is going to be a little bit different. Probably we're trying to make it we love the longer awards galas and, really gives you time to see what everyone did. But I think this year we're going to keep it a little fast paced and, a lot of a social with a socialized feel or social feel versus, the more formal type galas.
Just come and enjoy it. Now with that, for the gala, open to the public if we want tickets?
Yeah, it's open to the public. It's $249 for members, which is a pretty typical gala price these days. Actually, a little bit less than some of them out there, and $299 for non-members. And we're inviting sponsors as well. And anyone who's interested to email info@cimpa.ky. You can also purchase tickets online with a credit card, or you can request an invoice at cimpa.ky/events.
That price is US or CI?
That price is in CI.
Okay.
And so, for instance, if you want to come to, this year is the first of its kind, but we are planning to do it at a larger scale next year because people from overseas are also coming to this event, international speakers. We are just announcing this week that the Forbes 30 under 30 for the whole entire world, who is the Forbes 30 under 30 for marketing and advertising, she will be at our event. So it's a multi-day event. From Friday all day is the conference. Friday evening is a sunset networking hour. A lot of us are staying at Hotel Indigo for event purposes and also to have that kind of retreat style. Saturday we'll have a pop-up event for those that are coming to the gala on Sunday evening. So you'll get to network a bit more and enjoy the Hotel Indigo amenities on Saturday before the gala that evening. So for that, for the whole kind of weekend of events, which does not include the hotel pricing, but we do have conference pricing available. So we have a code for anyone coming. And then, of course, they also have a really good locals rate as well. So we are we're doing a pretty good deal for members. So it's $7.99 for that, for the both events, the gala, the conference, everything that comes with that, the food, the drink, the goodie bag, which has some really cool stuff, usable stuff. We try to be as sustainable as possible. And it's $649 for members. So as a member, you're saving $150 immediately. And basically, so if you want to become a member, it's a great time to do that because you're getting the price of membership practically included in that. Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping that as get closer. I mean, this is September starting, but October will be here, and
Yes.
And
time flies. We do 4 trainings a year. Just to give a little background, all of our proceeds from this nonprofit go back into these trainings. They go to our scholarship winner. So a local young person will receive, and we're about to announce that this week as well, our 6th annual scholarship winner for anyone who's in the marketing or related fields. So last year, our scholarship winner was Jackson Bodden, and he's at Lynn University in Boca Raton, Florida, and he's doing us very, very proud. And this year, I look forward to announcing, we as a board look forward to announcing the scholarship winner for this year. So we do the 4 training events per year, as well as socials for networking and community events as well to give back. So we're quite busy throughout the year, but we are trying to get ahead on it so that as soon as this year's event's over, we're planning for next year again, because this is a global event. We're looking at the UK, US, Canada, people coming from all over, and we're even wanting to grow that more within the Caribbean and globally as well.
Now, not asking you to name unless you wish, but have you had nominations thus far for any of the categories?
We have had nominations for the categories. I think the most popular one we've got questions about so far, we've got some rising stars, we've got some website and video, but we will put out a short list. So all of this is very exciting, and it's happening in kind of real time right now. So more information will be. Just please stay tuned to our Instagram, Simpa KY, as well as Facebook, because that we'll have some information there for the non-members who are not getting the e-blasts that are going out. Yeah.
And this is where we're seeing, especially within your rising stars, a growing interest in the sector, but more and more companies recognizing how their branding, but also how they're being perceived. So. Hey, thanks very much. Any closing thoughts, Ms. Holly?
No, I just want to thank you for having us on, and it's all going to a good cause, and we really care about that. That would be, if there's one thing I think to take away from this, is that to get more of the young people interested in the digital marketing and these related fields, because there will be a lot of work. As we said, every single business in the world requires a level of marketing, business development, public relations, graphic design, that type of thing. So encourage your children, if they are creative, or if you think they might be interested in this field, to reach out to us. We are always looking to welcome students to this event. If you are a student, or if you are a parent listening right now, email info@simpa.ky. We will welcome your student free of charge. We try to get our sponsors to cover some student passes. So if you're listening, please email info@simpa.ky, and we'll welcome the first student to reach out to us for free for this event. We also welcome UCCI students for free.
This is, provide opportunity for those who are in the sector to grow, to network, and maybe between now and closer to date, certainly after the awards, maybe bring in somebody, the honorees and the like, and we can chat.
Yeah, that would be great. Last year we had for Brand of the Year the Blue Iguana Gin guys, the Grand Cayman Distillery guys. So they're a really cool bunch. And we had Health City win several awards, Tower Marketing. And I just want to shout out my board as well. Stephanie Christian, she's our head of comms. She was a Rising Star of the Year. And the head of events, we, as I said, we're just a volunteer board. There is no paid staff for our organization. So it's a labor of love, and we do it because we're passionate about shaping the future of marketing at the Cayman Islands.
Well, this is where, the more we know, and the more that we can, introduce our students to possible other areas, and the more rewarding and fulfilling it'll be. So, Ms. Holly, thanks very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Radio Cayman, and the whole team here.
Radio Cayman.
Always a good support. We appreciate you and Kathy and the team.
Oh, man. Amazing team here, and we've got, much to be proud of as we celebrate our people.
Yes,
So thanks.
you have a great brand. You have an iconic brand. So
Hey,
we hope to see you at the awards and the conference.
Yeah, I'm sure Miss Paulette will look good in the red.
Yes.
Thank you very
Thanks again.
much.
Have a good afternoon. Thank you.
All right, Simple Awards, and we'll tell you more, hopefully, as the weeks unfold. We'll pause and hit the news. When we come back, some open line, a couple of messages to read, and maybe some comments to share. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Yesterday,
Today,
always and forever.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market.
I'm April Cummings with your headlines. A climate and energy challenge from the Ministry of Sustainability and Climate Resiliency launches this week. It aims to give us all a greater understanding of climate change and inspire us to take action in our daily lives. Starting today through the 13th of October, you can access a climate and energy challenge calendar, which contains links to videos, activities, and instructions. You can find out more by visiting the news section at gov.ky. In international headlines, U.S. President Joe Biden says Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is not doing enough to secure a hostage deal and ceasefire with Hamas. President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris met with negotiators today to hammer out a proposal in the wake of protests over the weekend deaths of 6 hostages in Gaza. The U.S. has seized a plane belonging to Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, claiming it was bought illegally and smuggled out of the country. According to the U.S. Justice Department, the Falcon 900EX aircraft was seized in the Dominican Republic. A spokesperson for the White House National Security Council says the action represents an important step to ensure that Maduro continues to feel the consequences from his misgovernance of Venezuela. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
You can now renew your driver's license or motor vehicle license online, and you don't need an ESID number. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Visit www.dvdl.gov.ky.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Radio Cayman Talk Today continues.
Hey, welcome back, and thank you very much for joining us. It is open line for the remainder of today's program. The phone lines are open at 949-8037, 949-6990. Of course, WhatsApp call at 253261, and toll free with the compliments of Flo, 1-800-534-8255. Seems got a lot of numbers coming at you. Well, make note, call your friend, commit them to memory. Specifically, that would be good. Keep the noggin in check, but program it. Use it to call Mr. Art on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. When he hosts the Best Morning Show for the record. Of course, use it here for Talk Today. Now, what do you want to chat about? Well, let's read a couple of WhatsApps for you and have you share. Says this is in reference to the caller earlier who was talking about She says, if you believe urinating on the road is bad, imagine sitting at a table near a jerk stand only to see a worker spit right beside the jerk stand. And then there was another message similar to that came in prior. 2 different people, seemingly unconnected, I would go on the premise as such, talking about how around food, sometimes the practices aren't always in keeping with what some of us are accustomed to. And then another message came in likewise and says, what about having dogs running around in restaurants? I've never seen anything like this before. And I keep on asking and I can't get an answer. Why is this dog running around in a place where food is being served? Again, different practices, different places, different people, and perhaps it's becoming acceptable here and elsewhere. And feel free to support, condone, condemn as you wish. Share your thoughts on any of these topics. Let's read this other message. Says, as one of the ladies brought up, I too am wondering why these quote-unquote red cones have been placed along the opposite side of the road across the Little South Sound Church, especially during a Sunday morning. Who has given them the authority to place them there? Would love to publicly hear from NRA and Representative Barbara Conley. Thanks. Now, if you're just joining us, you want to know, well, what those messages about? Well, the first one should be self-evident. And people are saying, well, what's this thing happening in their country where perhaps just sense and sensibility would insist that people don't urinate or do certain things publicly? Well, it doesn't matter if there's a practice elsewhere. The other one says, well, food and dogs and animals in restaurants. And then the third one refers to the church in South Sound, where I understand is a fantastically, dynamic congregation, and now seemingly cones are put along the side of the roads prohibiting or certainly impeding parking. Is that good, bad, or indifferent? Well, let's take this call. Hey, welcome. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, Sterling.
Welcome back.
Yes, this is what our island has become. Our animals are in the restaurants now with us. You go down to Cayman Bay, even on the outgrounds, there's got tables outside for a restaurant, and you're there trying to eat. And these people got dogs down by their chairs, feeding them while you're trying to eat. I really think there's a place and time for everything. In Sterling, we are becoming so Americanized now in the rest of the world that it is pathetic. And it everybody just going along with the flow. And I do understand what is the purpose of us having government with a capital letter on the front of it. If this is what we got to endure every year. You put these people in, and I'm going to say it right now. I don't care who like it or who like it, but this is the worst government I believe we ever had in our entire life. Everybody cursing and canning about PPM. But I swear to God, this is the worst one that we have had, because we got problem in Newlands there, and you just can't seem to get anybody to answer their phone or drive in to see if everything is okay or whatever the case may be. An election is coming up. They're going to come out here and promise us the world again, and then when they get that big salary, they forget about us. What can they come and tell us next year? But with all these new people who's planning and running, what can they come and tell us? They're going to give us back our beach. They're going to cut the groceries down. They're going to work with CUC. They're going to work with water authority. They're going to work with property. They're going to work for property that people can buy a piece of property and build a home. What can they come and tell us?
But
really and truly.
Not so much.
They can come and tell us.
Okay, but that's the question, right? With that in mind, though, what do you want the government to do? You sort of, by the questions answered, but how can the government achieve any of that? I mean,
say that again.
How can the government achieve the things that you're asking?
Well, Sterling, first of all, when we have election, they come out here and tell us what they're going to do for the country and what they're going to do for the people. And that's what we're looking for. But we're not even getting that.
All right.
For years now, because then everybody's doing their own thing. And when you call to complain, because they said all we do is complaining. Right. But if you don't come out here and speak your mind, they will continue to walk all over us. Yeah. And they're doing that on a daily basis.
Yeah. Help me, right? Because earlier, and I'm so unfortunate that trying to accommodate Mr. Tom Borden, who called earlier, and then be respectful to our guests. Sometimes, you just got to compete in schedules. How do you make them work? Mr. Tommy's points were not just salient. I'd be mindful and what else I share respective to that. But in listening to what he said, and he's saying, moratorium here and there, population growth, he said reducing it.
Reducing the population and the building. Well, he said that, reduce the high-rise buildings. He's more talking about it seems like, from what I gather, and then it's okay to build smaller buildings and homes and so forth.
But if you
go ahead.
Go ahead.
But to that about watching the high-rise building get under control, and you can still build homes. But who's gonna be building the homes? It ain't gonna be the Caymanians. It's gonna be the elite comes in here and build a home and not gonna pay no taxes.
But it's interesting, right?
And destroying our island.
I'm listening increasingly to people's language and with a great love and respect for you. You used the word elite. Many are saying that in the rich, and we're labeling. We're doing something in Cayman that is becoming more evident, in the way we refer to people, the things we say, the way we say it. And I'm beginning to wonder, have we lost the way now? We're going to take the WhatsApp call after you, right? But share with us. I mean, tell us what are you thinking? What do we do?
We have lost our way, Sterling, and it seems like there's no coming back. Because I asked some government official on the radio some time ago, when is this going to stop? He said, whatever is in the tunnel, the next government got to take over and continue it. Can you imagine? Can you just imagine, Sterling?
But what do we do? Because there are...
There needs to stop.
Yeah.
Sterling, we're not gaining anything from this, All we're gaining is the population. Always gaining the population and a lot of high-rise buildings. And people who come in no disrespect to anybody, I can take that back. I'm tired of using this word, no disrespect. That's got to speak the truth. We got to stop making everybody believe that when they come here, they can stay.
I want you to think
of 100,000 people, Sterling. They want 100,000 people. Okay, we got 100,000. We probably there now. So if we got 100,000 people, you want to tell me that 100,000 people, they're not going to be a child born every year, or five children born per year?
Right. You see, you're onto something, right? And I want to ask, you can answer now, you can answer again later, you can think and it can be the same answer, you can change, it doesn't matter, you and the general public. When we're listening to what you're sharing, right, are we putting everybody in the same boat in terms of the population? Are we somehow allowing ourselves to be duped by people who say, oh, be careful of them, watch out for them, because they're... Are we looking at it so that the policy is consistent, it's enforced, and subscribed by everybody, irrespective of anything?
Sterling, when we talk about population, that is not about Caymanian population. Because we are so outnumbered now that I can barely get salt in my milk to get the right flavor anymore. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
So it is the population that is growing rapidly from every nationality that comes in here.
Yeah.
And there comes, and nobody wants to leave. They all think that we owe them something. We don't owe them nothing. They come here and they work and they get paid.
Yeah.
But this immigration who needs to change the system. Because, Sterling, let me tell you something. I know I have to go. Let me tell you something, Sterling. Cayman cannot hold everybody who wants to come here. And, Sterling, we are getting some people that's coming here who don't care about this island. They are coming here, calling themselves coming for the safetyness, the strong dollar, and they can get on our roads and kill our people innocently and get off scotch-free when they go to court. Can you imagine? Come on, man.
Well, I hope that as we hear your impassioned plea, that people will appreciate the importance of doing it in such a way that, is consistent and responsible. Hey, thanks, right?
All right, you take care.
All right.
You.
You're most welcome.
Bye-bye. Good.
Let's take the WhatsApp call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Sterling.
Hey, how are you today?
Yeah, not doing too bad,
All right, just one
word. I hearing the question today. What can we do? What can we do about all this situation? How can we obligate the government to do what they gotta do? That's easy. That's very easy. We just got to put a people's referendum. If you want to stop all these pile of permits and stuff, let's put a people's referendum forward. Get it going. And make it binding that the government that get in, they got follow it. We want to stop this overdevelopment. Let's make it a people's referendum. Yeah. They're the kind of questions that got to be asked on a referendum. Not this one about the cruise ship or the gambling law or whatever. They good too, but they're second nature. They come after this one. This would be the important one. Yeah. The permits, the population growth. the overdevelopment. These are the important stuff, and a referendum, a people's initiated referendum would do that and force the government and obligate the government to do and to listen to the people. That's what we got to do. But the people come in like they give up, and it doesn't make sense to give up. I know it's people just worry, they're just hustling, trying to make a dollar just to make, do try and keep in their own corner and stuff. But that's what destroying us, you see, by not uniting and not doing the stuff what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, man. Let me then ask, right, and I thank you for sharing, and encourage other callers to do likewise. But let's say, as everybody has now not only begin to share, but they're recognizing, right, we have elections coming up. Who knows when, right? It's not been announced yet. If we put in the same people, or different people, but they're saying, hey, especially the same who've been there, this is what we're going to do: reduce the population, put a moratorium, all the things that you're saying, just say for argument's sake. How can we trust that? I mean, they've been there, they've talked. Now, is it that they're going to do it now because they finally realized it, or is it just lip service and another way to...
Yeah, well, it's what I'm saying, and I'm saying they got put it in there. People got to do this referendum.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. They just got to approve it and make it approve. If they don't approve it, this should be done even before the election, because it's all lip service.
Right.
These politicians, they're working for the corporate world.
Yeah.
That's it. And are they selling and working for themselves?
Right.
I mean, it's simple. It's been going on for the last 30 or 40 years.
Right. So
some of the people now that talking, that complaining, were part of the game back in the days from 20 years ago, when me and other people were talking about this situation, what the island was gonna become. We were laughed at and taken for fools. You see what I'm saying? But now some of those same people now are talking because they're no longer part of the game for whatever reason. You see what I'm saying?
I hear you. So let me then ask, right, for a referendum, and people that initiated one, I mean, the government of the day has a say in whether that is facilitated or not, right? So be that as it may, let's then take the other side. You have, how do I put it now? You have let's say a politician or a grouping or whomever, right, who say, listen, come next election, we're going to do this, this, and this. And it's what the people want. Do you think at the end of the day, when they go to the polls, right, as voters, we're going to vote for that politician that is going to say, this is what we're doing, just like what you shared? Or will the voters say, boy, that got to be tight, that got to be tough. I don't think I want that again. You think we have the courage to do and elect the people and hold them accountable to do what they say they would do, if it's what you're now saying that we should do?
I don't think so. I got doubts, just like what Ms. John said.
So what's the point?
Doubts that the majority can do what you got to do.
Yeah.
We got to learn, and I mean, this is why I come on here just to try to drop a little bit of knowledge on the people to learn. They got to listen or they don't listen.
I hear how you feel.
Simple as that.
I hear you, man.
But it's left for the people, for them to wake up on their own and really step forward to do what you got to do.
Yeah,
even if you got to go over their head, even if you got to go to the foreign and Commonwealth office, it got to be some way. There should be something that we could step over the politicians, them here and get the things done what we want to get done. Because even the foreign and Commonwealth office could see that what they're doing to the island are right. So then I say nothing. So you're wondering if there's enough hope at all for us. You know what I mean? Because they see what's going on with the environment. They're saying all the over development and all that. And they're just keeping quiet. And they're supposed to be the ones that is protecting us in sort of a way. But we know that that's not true, because we're really here on our own. You know what I mean? But they share something in this country, as this being a British Commonwealth country also. So they should have something to say. You know, even the governor is the last word on the land. She's supposed to override everything. But then it not happening. And so you're just wondering if the game is just a immoral game that just gonna beat us way until the end of time. Yeah. You know, and the good people just continue to talk, just like how they did in the Bible, and days gone by, and nothing nowadays changed. And I hear a man for yourself and God for us all, you know.
Well, I have a working hypothesis. I'll probably test it at some point. Let's see where that takes us, man. All right. Anything else you want to share?
No,
All
I'll
right.
leave you with that today. I'll call back some other time.
Thank you very much. Have a safe afternoon, all right? We're going to pause the final break. We will take each call today. It's a Monday. I mean, with your participation, it's going to be better. So stay tuned.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin are the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for sharing with us as we go straight to the phones and take all of the remaining calls. Welcome, thanks for calling.
Hey, good afternoon, Lord Sterling.
How are you today, my friend?
I'm feeling good, man.
Hey, it's a good day to feel good, man.
As James Brown would say, I feel good.
I feel good. No. That one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you.
You know, Mr. Sterling, I believe I'm in the business of making it with people. The businessman is in the business of making it with people. He needs customers.
Mm-hmm.
And our representatives is in the business of making it with people. That they need the consumer. They need votes. I don't want to get into politics really, but in my little area, what I've been focusing on, I like the idea of buying and selling currency.
Mm-hmm.
You sell currency to me, I do the same with them. I get currency. I got a lot of them anyway. But I like the idea. Mine is selling currency. Whatever products I got, I got to try to sell. It doesn't matter who the person is. If it doesn't matter where they're from. But I believe in sales. Get my little sales.
Yeah, man.
Somehow, trying to get back on track.
Right.
But that's the thing that we got to do. We got to get to that stage where we can try a little harder to make it with people, because eventually, now I didn't get into an argument about population growth or anything like that, but in order for the businesses to survive, they need customers. They need a good healthy population, or the businesses cannot survive without the consumers.
Yeah. And as I listen to you, I think we're recognizing that maybe we see this competing interest where how do we ensure the word that we like to use now, sustainable, so that as we grow the economy and the entrepreneurial spirit is nurtured, how do we make sure that it is sustainable for future generations? Hey, thanks for sharing, okay?
All right.
All right, well, good luck in your continued endeavors, my friend. May it be successful. Okay. All right. Let's take another, and then we call it a day. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon again, Dwayne.
Welcome back again, man. Welcome back.
You're concerned the situation where I see Cayman headed.
Mm-hmm.
And the politicians who continue to promise us to solve our problems when it comes to election time and take people for fools. What I see happening here, you reap what you sow, and you provoke your children not to anger. And what I see them reaping here is a riot. Thank you very much, Dwayne.
Hey, thank you. And is this the final call? Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon. Thank you for taking my call, Mr. Moderator. Quincy Brown, how are you doing?
Excellent. How are you? I think we may have one final call after you on the WhatsApp, and that'll be the final, if it's possible. Thank you, man. How are you?
I'm good. Thankful that we're in a new month. September is the month of recovery, and we're coming close to Christmas. We're not far away from Christmas at all. What a way 2024 going fast, eh?
Yep.
Yeah, let me tell you something. 2 turn around and it'll be Christmas.
Oh, see, 2 licks and a promise.
So, the question has been posed. It was posed in the 1980s by highly esteemed persons such as Honorable J.A. Roy Barton and al. It's a rhetorical question, but I'm bold enough to answer the question today because it's been posed so many times. And that question is, who are we developing for?
For whom are we developing, huh?
The answer, in my opinion, is the outside world to move in. Now, you don't have to agree with me. That is my opinionated answer, having done my research and having been observant as I see what's going on in the Cayman Island society. I open my eyes. I can see my eyes are wide open. I'm sober, for goodness sakes. I can see what's happening. And the truth of the matter is I have come to a point of acceptance because as Caymanians now we have a choice. I've said this before to you. The former CEO of CNN, Ted Turner, always used to say, lead, follow, or get the hell out of the way. So I'm applying that to the Cayman context because we are a minority in the Cayman Islands. I think we have become a second-class citizen in our own country. We are insignificant. We're not even needed any longer. Oh, my goodness, where are you going with that, Quincy? Well, am I being harsh with my words? I am speaking it as I see it. I go to NAU. I go to those who are looking assistance. The persons who are indigent in the Cayman Islands is the indigenous. The indigent is the indigenous. The indigenous is the indigent. Poor people. Yeah? So we're developing for the outside world. Few of us Caymanians who are ready to work hard, but more importantly, ready to work smart, and to be a part of the agenda that's in place will survive. But it's no longer about us as Caymanians. And Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, sister islands, brace yourself. Honor is next. development come in it too, perhaps not as fast, but not when you have major investors investing money now. And you can't tell, once somebody buys your land, whether you buy it up spot, buy up on top Bluff West End, Bartontown, or once someone buys property, who are you to tell them what to build on it, what not to build? Oh, well, you can't build that. Big money will always win. Remember when we could only build as high as 4 stories? The day will come. I'm not saying we'll get skyscrapers because we're 3 tiny little islands, for goodness sakes. But we're going to see buildings going higher and higher and higher. Money always wins. And in terms of unemployment, every member of parliament who is an MP, each morning you get up and say, thank God I have a job. Because if you were not a parliamentarian, you probably would be unemployed too, unless you have a true proven track record and can start your own business or go back to an area of which you are qualified. Like if you're an MP, but you're also a lawyer or a teacher or a nurse or a contractor, well, you know what I mean? But they would be just like us because politicians are just like us, just that somebody have to fill the 19 seats. So every 4 years we go into tricky season and we put 19 in, but they would be just like us. All right. And I want to close by saying election, not far away, elections.ky, register to vote, Form 13 if you're leaving one district to move to another, all that good stuff. Encouraging all the young people to please get registered. When I was 18, I wasn't interested either, but I eventually got registered. Get registered to vote. It is your inalienable and democratic right to be able to cast your X. And let me tell you the importance of that X. Your ability to vote. Your X is not a Valentine's Day gift. It's not, oh, I like you, I love you, I'm going to vote for you. Your vote is a strategic move because politics is like a game of chess. Sometimes you got to vote for somebody you don't like to get somebody else out. Does that make sense? So
you're voting for your future.
And what is Cayman's future? A very prosperous future, which will be determined by Great Britain and Jamaica and the very, very wealthy. I'm Quincy Brown. Thanks for taking my call.
Well, next time I'll pick up and ask you what you mean by that. But thanks, Q. Well, one final call as we take this. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
Oh, I am fantastic. How about you?
I am just like you. Dwayne,
yes, Mom.
I have to use your show today for a more personal reason, but I think at the same time, it is also for the benefit of the public. And let me just quickly explain why. This past weekend on a local audiovisual program, my niece, Dwayne Ebanks' estate was brought into some degree of disrepute. On that audiovisual program, it was said that a particular pastor and his wife were trying to steal her daughter and trying to steal her assets, her house, etc. And I just want to just let everybody to know that that information is as wrong as it could be. My niece took every step that she had to take to place her daughter in the care of the pastor through the courts because she believed with all of her heart that the best persons to raise her daughter was the pastor and his wife. She also, in sound mind, made a will. And the executrix of that will is bound by law to execute that will according to its directions within. Now, I have heard a number of remarks made by the public between standing in public places and people not knowing that Sharita was my niece and so on. And I can understand their alarm because that would be alarming. It would be alarming first that some child was being stolen away from their biological family, and certainly it must be I know it was a contentious observation that it was being done by a pastor and his wife. And so I've called into your show this afternoon because it is the national station. It is the people's radio station, and I I did a voice note this past week that further for those who may not have WhatsApp and have not yet heard that message, to just let the public to know that my grandniece she's fine, she's in good hands.
Mm-hmm.
And the pastor and his wife have done nothing wrong. They have acted in accordance with the order of the court.
Mm-hmm.
And my niece's assets are secure. There's a probate process that's now underway, and there's an obligation in the executrix to conclude the estate within a certain period of time and so on. And there has to come a point where the executrix has to read the will with the rest of the family, and all of that is a part of the process.
Right.
And I don't want to put too much of my niece's affairs out there, because it should never have been out there to start with.
Mm-hmm.
Grapevines and mall roads are not the place for you to be discussing your family business. It's how we destroy one another.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really bring in a resolve. All this has done is just cause tumult in the country. And I am calling in this afternoon to just let everybody who has heard this to know that entire story, a 2-day coverage, was it was untrue.
Yeah.
I don't know who provided the information, but I know that there was no effort made to verify it before publicizing it, as a good journalist would do. And now you have, the church being brought into disrepute, and my brother, her grandfather, is now facing having lost his wife and then his daughter, and now having to deal with this. It has placed him under another pile of stress and duress again, and it has really done nobody no good.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just want to, just make everybody to know that there's no need to be concerned about my niece's affairs.
I appreciate you sharing, right? And if I could, and maybe just generally in the future, maybe ask you, as we perhaps hear some of these things, and the world today is instantaneous. The comments of yesteryear were almost in person, verbal. Now they're digital and immediate, right? And they can be conflated, confused, and deliberately, So, but let me ask, just generally speaking, in an instance like this, does the surviving parent, the father, in this case, would that person have a say? Just further speaking,
that's.
Yeah, I'm asking.
There's a lot of dynamics. There's a lot of dynamics that goes into parental responsibility, and I won't.
Sorry.
Carry on from.
I'm asking you to
have that discussion.
No, sorry. What I'm asking is, like I said, generally, this is not for you to answer in this specific case. What I'm getting at, like, with the surviving, and then and it speaks to the general public not necessarily understanding some of the legalities of things. Whether you die intestate or whether you leave a will. What is it that happens in the consequence? Us as a country and as individuals not aware of the significance of things that happen, right? Maybe the world has advanced so quickly that many of us have got caught out. So I was not asking you on our specific stage, please do not answer in this instance, but it just speaks to our public's lack of sort of insight, knowledge, and awareness, right?
Right.
And then equally, when people may become, like in this instance, similar to any other rights and obligations sort of apply to them in terms of, do they benefit? Are they required to do certain things? And then specifically to you, just to make sure we did not misunderstand, to what you said, not to you. Did you say that the administratrix, which for those who know is different, separate from an executive, but I'll leave that to you if you want to explain. But did you say the administratrix is not under any obligation to conclude the estate within a certain time?
Contrary to what I said. An administratrix is appointed as a female who's appointed over an estate by the court.
In the absence of a will.
In circumstances where a person has died intestate, meaning without a will.
Without a will, right?
An executrix is a female who's appointed through a will, recognized by the court, to carry out the
The wishes of the will.
instructions in the will.
Right.
Yes.
And then the executor.
They say the instructions or the directions, because wishes in a will is a completely different
yeah.
topic to be had.
So,
So it would be administrator and executor if they were males.
Right.
But they are both bound by law to carry out their duties within a specific period of time.
So there's a time.
And then what is not spoken to in law
Yeah.
is spoken to in, and what's not spoken to in statutory law is spoken to in
Case law.
in common law about the way that things are handled and managed and time frames and so on and so forth. But
Right.
they're both bound by law to carry out their actions and their duties.
And this is where I thank Miss Adrienne Webb a long time ago. We had to heavily encourage her, and she came on.
So there's no getting away from it.
Yeah. Just came on to talk generally.
Sorry, I lost you there for a minute.
Yeah, no, I was saying I had to again publicly thank Miss Adrienne Webb a long time ago. She came on the show. We had to heavily encourage her. Please come in and just talk generally about wills and estates and the like, right? Because a lot of people have no idea of what happens and how public it is and the court process and the timeliness and whatever fees and the like. And I'm not going to speak to any authority, right? And so you sharing this, it leads just generally to a community, for whatever reason, to have a lot of conjecture. It can bring light to some things. It can cause many of us to start to consider, So
I tell you what I will do then, since it's been a long time since she has come in. What I will do, I'm about to take a little bit of leave of work soon, and I will use some of my leave to come in and help to educate the public as part of my civic duty.
There you go.
How was that?
Listen, I didn't have to
Thank
ask
you.
directly, so thank you for because this is now I'll say this right. The legal fraternity in Cayman, maybe because of the way it's operated, unlike say the U.S. or other jurisdictions where they can advertise. Here it's a bit different. But even the medical fraternity, just come in and talk generally about things. It's getting better. But there is still a bit of, professional reluctance to do so, So thank you for doing that.
And I think no worries. And the more that the public knows, then the more civil they may act.
Yes. Well, thank you.
Especially when they are greeted with news such as what they got this weekend. Thank you so very, very much for this opportunity, all right?
Always a blessing, a pleasure. For those who don't recognize the voice, I won't say who it is, but I think the voice is, the only other voice that's more famous than mine is Susan's, right?
Except Quincy Brown's.
Well, I mean, he's in a league of his own. He's a fantastic guy. I really like him. But thank you so much for that.
Yes.
And, we need to chat, all right? All the best to you.
We do. Take care. God
care.
bless you. Have a good day.
You too.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye. Listen, knowledge, like a good recipe, if it's not shared, it's of a little use. I thank each of you for sharing and participating, for having the courage to stand in the gap. I want to share with you, perhaps on a closing note, something very positive. The wonderful team over at Prospect Primary School, they have a literacy day on the 6th. Got Cayman Voices celebrating local literature. That's Prospect's Literacy Day, this coming September the 6th. So if you can, be a part of it. Some of the activities start on the Thursday, but the majority of which, will take place on Friday the 6th. These sorts of initiatives and endeavors are only, truly, enriching when the students have a wider audience of not just parents, and the community can participate and encourage in the love of reading and comprehension. Listen, thanks for the extra innings. The good friend at the end of the table, he like me, he's always ready to roll. All right, but tomorrow's another day. I prayerfully, through petition, and ask for the Most High to continue to guide us. So until tomorrow, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.